So has anyone else noticed that the world kind of sucks right now? We've got inflation, war, Chinese psychological weapons, possible nuclear extinction. But hey, despite the fact that the future looks about as bright as a black hole, at least we can all wrap ourselves in the warm embrace of a crippling addiction to shiny cardboard rectangles. Everything sucks. Buy trading cards. So in this video, I want to discuss my thought process on buying cards when the market of, well, the whole world is up in flames. Or down in flames? Because when everything is tanking to zero, why am I putting my hard-earned money into flesh and blood cold foils that are guaranteed to lose more value? Well, there are a few reasons. The first is that I'm an idiot, which is also why you should not be taking this video as any form of financial advice. Or more simply put, me dum dum mungo, big ooga booga brain. But the second and main reason that I am buying cards is because, well, I want to. I've always lived my life a bit contrarian. Not in the way that I disagree with people for disagreement's sake, but I'm contrarian in the way that I, wear barefoot shoes instead of normal running shoes. I fast regularly, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, even on weekends. And I'm buying a bunch of the cold foil Everfest trinkets. And now that only 10% of you are still watching, I realize I probably should have asked you to subscribe before I said that. But it's not just the trinkets from Everfest. I've also been grabbing a few other cold foils from the set. Crown of Reflection and Silver Palms are the cards that I've been gravitating towards, and while I only own 4 and 5 copies respectively, I do plan on picking up more as time goes on. Because these two are essentially the same as the trinkets. They are cold foils that no one really wants right now. The Crown has Arcane Barrier, which is always good, but its main ability isn't the most useful right now. And Silver Palms, I mean, come on. Who is sitting down at a Blitz event and playing Cavdane or Genis? But this leads me to the third reason that I've been buying these cold foils. When I'm looking for cards to collect for a decent price, I'm not looking for what's in demand right now. Instead, I look for the cards that have the potential to be in demand in the future. Cards that I can see having a use in both competitive and casual play. And in the case of Flesh and Blood, cards that will never be reprinted, like the cold foils. And I feel like the trinkets, Crown of Reflection, and Silver Palms are just that. Cold foils that will never see a reprint are very cheap and have massive potential. For example, we are getting a new Illusionist in Uprising. And although at the moment we've only seen a few teaser cards, what do you think is gonna happen if we get new auras that work really well with the Crown? And if Dromai is good in competitive play, do you really think that the Crown is gonna stay at $30 for the cold foil? And don't even get me started on Silver Palms. This thing is hilarious to use in Ultimate Pit Fight, but it is very clearly made for PvE, which we'll get sometime in the future. Now, call me crazy, but I have a hard time believing that a cold foil legendary that will one day be in demand is going to stay at $65 Canadian or 45 USD. God, I wish we had America's prices here. Oh, okay, fine. Those cards make a little bit of sense, but the trinkets? You're seriously expecting us to believe you when you say that these garbage things are gonna gain value? No, I don't expect you to believe me. I expect you to believe James White.
I think that there's still a lot of nuances in Everfest that are yet to be really appreciated, especially a lot of the talismans and amulets. Those cold foils are dirt cheap at the moment, and decks are gonna need 3 of these cards in the future. I'm just telling you, hot tip, hot tip.
See, when I first saw the Everfest trinkets getting spoiled in Everfest, I thought the exact same thing that everybody else did. But I also had the feeling that these cards were being used as setup for future strategies. I mean, so many of these are so weirdly specific that there was no way they could all just be throwaway cards. There is so much unexplored design space in Flesh and Blood that us plebs can't even begin to imagine where the game is going to be in a few years. Now, obviously, I'm not clairvoyant and I can't predict the future. If I could, I would have bought Flesh and Blood cards before the game skyrocketed in value. But trying to chase what's in demand at any given moment, to me, is foolish. Especially if you're not looking to just collect, but invest. So if it wasn't already obvious, I am no Alpha Investments. I am not the Giga Chad that Rudy is, and quite frankly, I'm not really looking to be. In order to build even near the same amount of wealth that man has, an individual would have to do as he did. Dedicate one's life to the financial world and work tirelessly and likely without much payoff for many, many years. And I don't want to do that. If I'm looking to make any one thing in my life be the focus of my time and energy, it's video creation, not money management. But I am also a firm believer that while some men like Rudy will max out a couple stats as they go through their life and will see immense success in their given field, that is not the only kind of, nor the only way to see success. Most people, myself included, want to live a balanced life. I want to learn to be good with my money and create some wealth, but I also want to eat well and remain relatively fit. I want to learn and practice to become a fantastic video creator, but I'd also like to be a somewhat decent musician. Every aspect of life requires time and energy, and when you put more into one avenue, you take away from the others. And so when I'm buying trading cards, I'm not coming at it with the mindset that I'm gonna micromanage every little dollar to try and maximize my profits. I'm not buying cards with the hopes to flip them quickly, and I'm not obsessing over the market looking for every spike and dip. I simply just don't want to put that much time into managing everything. But I would still like to benefit from the fact that this hobby can be pretty profitable. And so the tactic that I take when buying cards is simple. I don't go online to scour for the best deal, and I don't max out my credit cards to do some crazy buyout. All I do when I have some extra money that I'd like to invest is buy a few cards that I like and feel have potential, and then I add them to my collection. And then I wait. With the insanity that was the TCG boom of 2021, so many people have the perceptions warped and distorted. Everyone got so swept up in the hype of every game going to the moon, and now that collectibles are back down to only slowly gaining value, well, it's just not good enough anymore. If it's not 10xing in just a few short months, well then all these games are dead, nobody plays them, I've lost everything, and Karen won't let me see my kids. But the funny thing is, while everybody remembers the insanity that was 2021, many seem to have completely forgotten what happened just the year before in 2020. When the world suddenly came to a halt and we all ran in fear as the end of days approached, the collectible trading card world tanked in value. People started to sell their cards like crazy, whether it was from fear of the world ending or for most people, they were out of work and needed to pay their bills. The result was that many collectible trading cards were suddenly much cheaper than they were mere weeks before, and almost no one was buying. But the few, like Rudy, who stayed the course and kept a level head and continued to buy cards during this time, well, considering that aforementioned TCG boom happened very early in just the next year, I think it's safe to say that those people made out like bandits. But 2020 was a Black Swan event. We're never going to see prices that low again, and so there's no opportunity to buy anymore. I mean, the only thing that could cause collectibles to be cheap again would be something like, I don't know, a recession caused by inflation and a growing distrust of government currency. Like that's ever gonna happen. We are all tumbling through the stream of time, grasping at anything that our little monkey paws can reach as we live on this green earth in what is a mere blink in the great expanse of the universe. And while many turn to nihilism in the face of this, I instead choose to be optimistic. And hey, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I spend the next several years putting my money into cardboard that just goes to complete crap. But I refuse to just do nothing. Time is going to pass regardless of what I or anyone else does with it. So why not make use of that time? Even if I only ever manage to turn $5,000 into $10,000 by the time I'm ready to pass on my life to my children, well, it's not much, but $10,000 is a hell of a lot better than nothing. And if buying cards that I like and enjoy also has the potential to gain me serious monetary value just by sticking them in a binder and then living my life, I'll take my chances. Everything sucks, but it won't suck forever. Buy trading cards.